Alynn. What is with
Hello,
the
hello.
what are you doing this for me? Are you doing this for me back there? What is that?
I'm hanging out with Mickey Mouse this week.
Oh, you're in Orlando. So
I'm
you're in the
chilling in Orlando.
you're in the newer quote unquote. First of all, they're investing zillions of dollars into modernizing, and you can tell by the ticket prices over there.
Oh yeah,
Are you planning to go to Disney while you're there? Is that on the
oh yeah,
itinerary?
100%,
Oh yeah, not missing
100%.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what do you do after the Super Bowl? You go to Disney World. Dude, I'm in.
Wow. After everyone finds Winston, what do you? Alynn
That's right.
Bailey. Now that Winston's been found, what are you going to do next?
I'm going to Disney World.
See how we
A
said that.
100%.
What is happening today? What do we? First of all, what's going on in Orlando?
I'm here at the Gartner Reimagine HR Conference,
What's that all about?
which it is a lot of great conversation around HR and the strategies around HR. It's a little bit different vibe than maybe some of our normal kind of conference fodder, right? A lot more people kind of dress up like I had like put a suit jacket on top of the t-shirt and
Is that a
it's a
is that
little
a
bit.
Winston? Is that a Winston shirt?
It is.
I got to get me one of those.
You got to have a Winston shirt, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it with
No,
my
it's
cat and
good.
cheese mug. I'm gonna have a whole altar to smart recruiters over there. Side
That's
note,
my
everybody,
plans.
guess what? Next Tuesday, my conversation from HR Tech with your boss, your leader,
Oh,
sorry, Rebecca comes out next
yeah,
Tuesday. We're gonna promote that. Sorry, shameless plug there.
amazing. No, that'll be really great. She's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good
And
one.
really great to listen to. So,
So you're at
yeah,
this conference. What are you looking to do? Are you speaking? Are you there to network? Are you
no,
there to share the
I
words of
am
wisdom of
really,
Winston?
yeah, I'm really just here introducing people to Winston and doing a lot of walkthroughs and demos and having a lot of conversations about the future of technology and HR and TA, which I think is an interesting can of worms that people are just starting to get beneath the surface on, which has been very cool.
Yeah, so let's get beneath the surface. Let's talk about let's dig into today.
Yeah.
First thing I want to chat about are pop-up offices and the rise of popularity. We all know there's flexible solutions out there. I work with a lot of clients who are moving away from the traditional office. They have hybrid models, but they still need a place to come together, and it doesn't make sense to have a giant footprint in certain areas. What are you seeing and hearing around pop-up
So,
offices?
so this is fascinating. So I've been spending a good deal of time going deeper into the World Economic Forum's data. And what I'm seeing is this very interesting trend, particularly in locations you may not have thought of. So, for example, in Austria, this is like a thing now.
Hmm.
In remote mountain communities where people have kind of escaped out of the cities and they're living in these spaces, companies are starting to create these kind of pop-up experiences
Hmm.
for people to come together for short periods of time and then dispersing them, right? So when we say pop-up, they really are like a pop-up store. They show up for a small amount of time. There's a specific experience that's generated, and then people go back to their lives.
Huh. Is this almost like a corporate retreat or a different version of that where they're bringing like
Yeah. No, that's what I thought at first. No, literally offices. So you don't have an office experience. You don't drive into the office every day. We're going to set up a pop-up office out here in the middle of the Austrian Alps. And
I would love
you
that.
can kind of bring your goats on over, hang out with us,
BYOG.
and have an office experience. And then we're going to go away with it, right? IKEA is doing this. This is fascinating. So IKEA is doing this
Do you have
with
to build your
companies.
own office furniture when you get there?
I don't know that
I'd be
that
miserable if I
this I
flew
have not
halfway across
researched
the
enough.
world and they're like, "You have a desk here, but you have to build your own desk." I'm like, "I'm out.
Yeah, out of
I'm gonna
here,
hang
out
out
of
with
here.
the
So
goats."
they're doing it on purpose. They're partnering with these companies in order to demonstrate and show off their cool furniture. So it's like a cross between a pop up office and a pop up store at the same time.
Can I tell you my greatest?
Very
Can I
interesting.
tell you my greatest accomplishment of
Yeah.
the past year? Not work related.
Hmm.
So we're looking for a solution. That's to do with IKEA. We're looking for a solution for my daughter's room. She needed more space, so we went to IKEA and we saw this giant. And I'm talking giant, Ellen. It's maybe 5 feet wide, 3 feet deep, 9 feet tall, kind of wardrobe thing. And like, all right, cool. But now I got to put it together. And we had to get a truck shipped. It was, I think, 5 giant boxes. It took me a full day, but I nailed it. And I felt
Only
such
one?
a full day. It felt such a sense of accomplishment that I built that. And it was heavy. And I constricted workspace because I had to build it between her bed and the window. But let me tell you something. That was exciting. Now back to what we're talking about. Thank you for
No,
entertaining me.
I get
Uh,
it. You know,
yeah.
listen, IKEA furniture is the vein of every Gen Xer's existence. We all lived with it. We grew up with it. We start pulling it into
It's
like
a necessary evil.
our early 20s apartments, right? And I still have pieces of IKEA furniture that I had in my
So
20s and 30s that I
the
carry around.
they're good. They're good for one move. They're good for
Yeah.
one move. You can move them one time, and
Oh,
you got to tighten back up those round
you,
kind of hex nut screw bolts that they got there.
those
That the
Allen
lock
wrenches,
nuts.
dude.
Those.
You have to have a special set of Allen wrenches now, so you can like do all of the Allen wrenches. I have one IKEA bookcase that has traveled with me for 20 some years.
That bookcase that I have in my office right now, that was in our
Yeah.
apartment in the city, two apartments in the
Uh-huh.
city, and our house, and it made the
Mhm.
trip. Let's
Okay.
get back on track. I want to talk
Sorry,
about mental.
rounding off of
I
my
want to
IKEA stuff.
talk about mental health innovations
Okay.
in Japan. What's
So,
happening here? It's a
okay.
crisis going on.
A huge crisis. So there's been a mental health crisis going on, particularly around stress. This is happening globally. We see it in lots of locations. But interestingly enough, Japan is starting to take this on as a specific government initiative. So they've got kind of three major things that we're starting to see pop up, which I think is really intriguing and something interesting to watch from an HR perspective. One, the use of wellness devices, right? Like the Aura rings that people
Right.
have, or the Whoop
Hmm.
watches, right? That people have. And they're having companies are actually going out, giving them to their employees, and then they're tracking that data to track stress. So what I found fascinating about this is kind of twofold. One, cool that they're concerned about stress. And if you
Right.
think about kind of what we know about kind of the culture around work, right, and the emphasis and focus on hard work within the region and within the country, this makes sense. There's a lot of stress around work. So interesting, they're fascinated and they're focused on that. But two, at the same time they're working on these kind of stress reducing
Hmm.
ideas, they're perfectly willing to have individuals track their stress and health from a company level with these devices. And they're all, I mean, can you imagine? Like if you walked into a US company today and you
Is
said,
that too?
everybody's going to wear an Aura ring and I'm going to track your mental health with it. How do
No,
you
that's
think
a
that'd
tough
go
one.
over?
No, that's not going to fly over here too. We
Yeah.
value privacy here, and I don't need to be tracked on the weekends. You don't need to when I'm
Yeah.
staying up till 4 in the morning. Hmm?
Right. Right. So it's like a catch 22. It's like, really cool. You're interested in this. Wow. What an interesting cultural dynamic that this is okay, that we can track that level of kind of personal health. And then the government as a whole is doing a lot in this space around stress and guidance and health, which I think is fascinating. I think you're going to see some more countries start to take this on at a more global level. I think what's interesting about this as well, too, if you kind of peel back the onion a little bit, is the number of countries, particularly in APAC,
Hmm.
who are taking on initiatives that we would normally think of as kind of HR company driven initiatives, and they're
Like what?
making them government led, kind of full country government led initiatives, like Australia and their
It's a double
skills
edged
space.
sword though, right? It's a double edged sword between being too big brother and letting companies and people just be, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's fascinating. I think it's really interesting, and I think if you're in the HR space, hopefully most everybody here is. It's just not just thinking about talent acquisition, but thinking about the larger story around human resources. This trend to find a new balance between what is good for the overall economy and what is good for individual companies, and then personal development and growth and wellness in this whole picture. So more to
Is there
watch there. I'm
more to
keeping our
watch?
eyes open, and I think this intersection between health, wellness, mobility, and technology are all going to come to this really interesting crescendo in the next year and a half.
It is a fascinating space. So, Lynn, let's wrap it up here. And I need to know
Yeah.
one thing. I need to know one thing. What is your favorite ride at Disney World?
Oh, this is not a hard one for me. So if you're a real Disney World Disney fanatic, your answer is one answer only: the
Space
People Mover.
Mountain. The
No,
peop,
the People Mover.
the monorail.
No, not the monorail. The People Mover.
What
Look
the?
it up. It's the People Mover. Um, it's in my Future World. My God, I'm losing my mind. It's in Future World.
World
You
of the
got to get on
future.
it. They only have it in Disney World. It's a People Mover. And if you're a real Disney fanatic, what you do is you get your Mickey ice cream bar, you get your little beverage, you get yourself on the People Mover, and you chill.
I love it. Well, Alynn, thank you so much. I want everyone to check out Smart Recruiters, check out Winston. They got a lot of stuff going on. Follow Alynn on LinkedIn. Alynn, have a great trip to Disney World, a great trip
Awesome.
to Orlando, and we'll catch you next week for the Gold
Thanks,
Report.
guys.
Alynn
Talk to you
Bailey,
next week.
Smart Recruiters, everybody. Thank you.